What is being a good listener? Being a good listener is an important part of being a good communicator. Communication isn't just one way, it's about sharing information between people. If you aren't listening to what other people are saying, you might not understand what they mean. Also, not listening to other people who are speaking to you is disrespectful and may hurt their feelings. That isn't good for communication either. Active listening can help you communicate better. Active listening is more than just hearing someone talk. It means listening with all of your senses. It helps you fully understand what the other person is saying and lets them know you're paying attention. With a bit of practice, you'll be able to use active listening to become a stronger communicator. Let's learn more about what makes someone an active listener. Paying attention. Active listening means making an effort to be engaged in the conversation and paying full attention to it. When you're actively listening, you're taking what the other person is saying and trying to remember it. Think about a time you didn't feel engaged in a conversation, like during a class in school. Now think about a more interesting conversation, like the last time you talked to a friend about something you're both interested in. You probably paid a lot more attention to the second conversation. You were practicing active listening, even if you didn't realize it. It can be hard to use active listening in every conversation, and it's normal to make mistakes along the way. But like any other skill, you will only get better with practice. Getting involved. Active listening means being involved in the conversation. You think about what you hear and then ask questions. Make sure you understand what the other person is saying and repeat the information in your own words. Paying attention helps you hear the information you need to get involved and add to the conversation. Listening with your whole body. This is what really sets active listening apart from just hearing someone talk. You can show that you're actively listening using your body language, gestures, and facial expressions. You could smile or nod your head as the other person is speaking. If the other person is saying something sad or serious, you can make the same kind of facial expression that they're making. Active listening also means doing your best to not fidget or cause other distractions while the other person is speaking. Here are 3 things you can do to practice active listening. Not interrupting. If you're excited about a conversation, you might accidentally talk over other people. However, this can be rude because it shows that you aren't paying much attention to what the other person is saying. Waiting until the other person is done speaking means you can hear all of what they're saying before you reply. It shows you respect them and care about what they have to say. Making eye contact. Making eye contact with someone when you're having a conversation is the best way to show that you're listening. If you don't make eye contact, they might think that you're thinking about something else or that you're not paying attention. Making eye contact shows that you're focused on the other person and what they are saying. Using body language and gestures. You can use your body language, facial expression, and gestures to show that you're actively listening. If the other person says something you agree with, you can nod your head. Smiling can show that you're friendly and engaged in the conversation. But if the conversation is more serious, it's a good idea to mirror the other person by making the same sort of expression. This body language shows that you understand the conversation and that you're paying attention. Let's take a look at how being a good listener can help you at work. Pierre works as a roofer, and he's about to start working on a new house. While Pierre is gathering his tools, his supervisor Ricky says, "Don't fall through that roof." Pierre laughs and doesn't pay too much attention. Ricky walks over, crosses his arms, and says, "Hey, I'm being serious." Pierre looks up and makes eye contact with Ricky. "What do you mean?" he asks. Ricky tells him, "This building's over 100 years old, so we need to be extra careful to walk slowly and carefully. The building is up to code, but you can never be too careful." Pierre nods and says, "I had no idea it was that old. I'll be sure to walk carefully up there." Later on, while Pierre is laying shingles, his foot goes through a weak spot on the roof. The hole is small because Pierre was being careful. But if Pierre hadn't actively listened to Ricky, he could have fallen through a bigger hole and gotten hurt. Active listening is a skill you'll need to practice. But you can start practicing it right away and keep working to become a better communicator. Good communicators pay attention, get involved, and show that they're hearing what the other person is saying. The next time you feel a bit confused about a conversation, try using the active listening skills you learned in this video. Make sure you are not interrupting. Make eye contact with the other person, and pay attention to their body language and yours.